Let me start from the statistical harmonization and whether rating agencies will accept or not accept. Number one, on statistical harmonization would require bringing all African countries to the same level of implementation. So that's the first step, so that those who are still using 1968 can come up to, we're celebrating 38, we're at 2008, but now we have a 2005 SNA system, which is more, I can tell you, a lot of advocacy by the World Bank, by the African Development Bank, President Adesina, and many leaders in order to ensure that we come to where we are. But what worries me is, if we still have countries using 1968, we're now moving to 2025. That means that the gap in the accuracy, inclusiveness of the measure of the GDP of countries might even widen even more, because I can bet you that many countries in the global north and developed Asia will implement the 2025 very quickly. So we need to really focus on that investing to bring all African countries to par with regard to not only bringing them to 2008, but also now helping them to work with the 2025 SNA system just approved. So that is one. And then the second one, the question for you is whether rating agencies will take it into account for sovereign ratings of countries. My answer is yes. Yes, because if you improve your GDP measurement, the accuracy, and your GDP grows, your debt to GDP percentage will already go down. So the measure of debt sustainability and all these things will pick that statistic as it's been computed. And that way you already benefit because you are improving the accuracy of the measurement of your system. Whether they are going to agree to take the stock of natural capital into account as an asset class for collateral for lending to countries, that's a bigger question, which has to do with the methodologies that the rating agencies use in assessing the sovereign ratings of countries. But in the remit of GDP, I did say it has to become a flow, because GDP measures produced capital. And if you look at the Stern review that was done by, not Stern review, but Das Gupta review, you'll find clearly something that corroborates the research that I have already quoted for you, that produced capital is highly valued in the markets because that involves technology inputs. But stock of natural capital is undervalued. So that effort will be on beneficiation as well. Beyond improving your SNA, is about how do you beneficiate your bauxite, your iron ore, and so on. So you are not selling raw products in the global market, but they are now selling products at higher end value. The same with uranium and every other thing that we have in abundance in Africa. And that raises for me the issues around our own industrial policy, how we engage with the world. And we're talking about trade tariffs now. And my first question is, what actually are we trading? Because if you're trading lithium-ion batteries instead of the rare earth minerals, harvested raw, extracted raw, your negotiating power and the rules in the game, your skin in the game is totally different. So adding value and beneficiation of natural capital is one core aspect of how to make everybody, not just the rating agencies, take notice of the natural resources that you have. We can discuss specific policies that can help in doing that. So for Thomson, it's a big question. If you take, remember, this is a policy paper which will use only one flow, which is carbon sequestration of forests. And I did mention there's quite a lot of other assets and flows of capital that is already being produced from natural capital on the continent that still needs to be measured. So I'll go back to what my brother Victor Miranda has put on the table, which is the need for continued work to bring in all the other asset classes from the continent. And I can bet you that once we do that, even AI will tell you that the growth in our GDP will not be just that 2% that is being quoted at the moment. So I think, again, the point here is what a role of a policy paper does is to draw attention of policymakers to a particular issue. Okay. And then the work begins from there. So this is just a step in a journey of 1,000 miles. We are still going to have a lot of, I know that the economics community globally will try to take it up and tear it apart and bring it together. But what we want is for that discussion to start happening. And already, I'm so pleased that the Global Systems of Account has already taken notice, and this new SNA is already recognizing that we can do it. And thanks to the IMF, the World Bank, and all the other leaders that helped in the advocacy to make that happen.